El Salvador's president. Okay. El Salvador's president has been trending. Wait, I forget his name. Bukele. Hanji. Okay. He is.
Bukele sounds right. President Bukele.
Nayib Bukele. Okay. El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, has been trending because he's an avid Twitter user, and in his Twitter bio, there's a description of who you are and all. He has written the world's coolest dictator.
Is he a dictator? Was he officially elected? What is the story there?
He was officially elected in 2019.
He was officially elected, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, correct, so two years ago, he won an election and he came on the platform of, I will erase and eradicate corruption and all of that. And people believed in him. But since he's come into power, he has replaced people in the judiciary and the executive with, his people. They've repealed a law that existed in El Salvador, which was you can't win 2 consecutive terms. So if you're president this term, next term you can't stand for election. So that little caveat has been removed. That rule has been removed.
He's got his own people into the judiciary and figured it out for himself. So he could.
And he's going the Putin
5 years
way.
From now,
he could stand for election. So far, he has not said I will stand for election. But anyway, in all of this, he is apparently obsessed with Bitcoin. And El Salvador. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, yaar, ye El Salvador hai kidhar? Central America mein. Apna North America, South America, बीच में वो जो छोटे-छोटे countries हैं and islands हैं उधर Caribbean के बाजू में. So El Salvador has become the very first country in the whole world to say Bitcoin is legal tender.
And here's the thing. That is why El Salvador is in the news. Because it's one thing to get, by the way, what El Salvador does use, and they've been using for the last 20 years, is that the US dollar is their official currency. Okay, which is fine to run with, but you must understand, therefore, that means El Salvador cannot print its own currency to spend money. They actually have to borrow US dollars. For them to borrow, somebody has to lend them US dollars. Some people might choose not to, international agencies and all of that. So anyway, all those issues are there. He's trying to, one, he's a big fan of Bitcoin, it seems. And 2, he's trying to circumvent this whole process by saying, okay, now Bitcoin is legal tender. Yeah. The issues are as follows. Okay. We're going to try our best to explain this because it's like maddeningly complicated. For one, the whole point of cryptocurrency is that it's meant to not involve governments. It's meant to be a decentralized thing. Suddenly, one government has gotten up and said, "Ye to hamara hi hai. Don't worry about it." Okay. What it seems the game is that when El Salvadorians abroad remit money to their country, to their families over there, they will remit in US dollars. His idea is to keep those US dollars,
the physical dollars,
give the physical US dollars, and instead give Bitcoin to the people. And he said there will be no transaction costs or very low transaction costs.
No, we will bear it. The government will bear the transaction cost.
Correct. You just send the dollars, we will give people Bitcoin. That is the crux of this. Now, what he has done on top of that is a mess.
No, so he firstly, like in India, remember overnight the 500 rupee note disappeared. So this also, even though they had said, "Aapke paas thoda time hai, but we are going to start accepting Bitcoin," they didn't use too much time to get the system in order. So if you're going to deal in cryptocurrency, ideally internet should be no problem, but that is not the case in El Salvador. Pretty much like India, Pakistan. जहाँ पे है इंटरनेट अच्छा स्ट्रॉन्ग वहां चलता है, जहाँ पे नहीं है ऐसे रूरल एरियाज में वहां है ही नहीं. He then made it mandatory that all businesses that have the technology, and most businesses seem to be tech savvy, it is mandatory that you will have to accept Bitcoin. Then the exchange or whatever he set up, the mechanism is something called Chivo. Chivo is cool.
It's the app basically.
No. It means cool. It means cool.
Yeah.
Decided to say Chivo has now been launched. Chivo was announced. It was only launched like at the end of August. This is all happening in September, where, okay, from tomorrow, Bitcoin rule and policy is in place. And then when they launched at midnight, everything crashed within 2.5 hours. And then for over 12-15 hours, just people couldn't register. The ones who tried to register already had somebody else use their ID to register. The ones who tried to fake by using some famous people's eyes. So it's like saying I'm Amitabh Bachchan and I'm registering. They could. So they're like, ye to legit hai hi nahi. Then cryptocurrency anyway is used for money laundering. A lot of it is used for money laundering in the world. So then they were like, we don't trust it. We don't know if we want to use it. Businesses started saying, hello, I'd rather not have the transaction only. Agar tumko nahi lene ka hai and Bitcoin mein hi lene ka hai, to nahi chahiye. And the ATMs that were set up everywhere were not really doing they were not giving you Bitcoin, or they were not giving you dollars in exchange or whatever it is. So then the public, all of last week, has been burning down these ATMs, and they've been wearing these protest t-shirts saying we hate Bitcoin and you, Bukele, are a dictator and you have become a dictator and this is not cool and this and that and all. So hence, he's now trending for, saying I'm the coolest dictator in the world.
Now, oddly enough, or just coincident, the Bitcoin price did not help the situation. Because what happened was, as an incentive, they said you log on to this Chivo app, start your account. We will give you $30 worth of Bitcoin. Now, this was around the 7th of September. On a day or two before that, it seems the government, Bukele, ended up buying some 20 million US dollars worth of Bitcoin on the assumption that they will have to do some distribution. The next day, the price fell. So suddenly that $30 that you thought you were getting became $25 because the price of Bitcoin went from somewhere like 52,000 down to like some 46,000 literally in one day. Unfortunately, that was the day of the launch. So that 30 automatically became 25. That also irritated someone. Many people, as it turns out. So many things have gone wrong. That app has been under maintenance ever since it has come out. Every 1 or 2 days, it will go into maintenance. You cannot transact. Basically, even if you want to, it's very difficult to transact, and a lot of people don't want to.
And by the way, this whole app and everything, the people behind it are the president's brothers and himself.
Correct. Yeah, they are the promoters. They're a private company, so they're not that whole Right to Information Act and all doesn't apply to them because they're not a government entity. They're a private entity, but the government has put $60 million into that private entity. That is a whole separate story. But
I would have never thought that we could draw parallels between our country and El Salvador, but now we can.
Well, you can.
Now that we have, expanded your geographical knowledge and told you about a brand new country and why you should know the name Bukele, please let us know which other dictator in the world you think is cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting that he's calling himself the coolest dictator in the world.
Because no dictator,
ironical and tongue in cheek and all,
but no dictator ever says I'm a dictator. Even that Kim Jong Un has supposedly fought election. Has fought elections. Nobody stands opposite him. But
elections are
it's a democracy. It's not a dictatorship. But this man has said I'm a dictator. Anyway, do let us know if you know of El Salvador or any other country that you'd like us to know in the comments below. Remember to like this video. If you watched it so far, clearly you enjoyed our company. So like the video. Please subscribe. Don't miss a single episode. We do a variety of things on So Far So Good. And yes, share with like-minded people. Take care of yourselves. Keep that mask on. Keep COVID at bay and stay happy. We are Jaggu and Tarana and we're out of here. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye, butterfly.